lived his life, and it wasn't a realistic idea for this guy to get to this point in his life and not think that his wife wouldn't want the same things for herself to get out and live. And so they just butted heads to the point where they just stopped relating like a lot of couples do. But it was kind of on him and on her to figure out how to bring it back full circle and get back to love, as opposed to just accepting that you went your separate ways and giving up like a lot of couples do. And I guess I'm giving away the story for anybody who hasn't seen it, my fault. But it's just the point of saying that this is a couple that had to go through something really deep in order to bring themselves back to a place where they could know each other from a new level.
All right. Now, you guys will see how this particular couple had to deal with the side piece. I won't, like I said, I won't say anything. Go watch it. It's on Vimeo. Vimeo.
Tell anybody you can Google J Billion, Anything But Love,
yes.
And I promise you it'll come up. We've been doing so well, like I said, as far as getting the word out, that it's been popping up real good on Google. And people, like I said, we got people coming out to check it out. Please, if you get a chance, because like I said, we're going to lock it down once we get to the point where we put the DVDs out. So if you get an opportunity in the next week or so, especially this weekend, you're looking for that lovers holiday, date night, we ain't got nothing to do, we don't want to spend any money in the movies, then this is the film to go check out. And I promise you, for the 72 minutes that we're there, I promise you we'll keep your attention, and I promise you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, you need to get your popcorn, people. You need to get your popcorn. Get you some butter, get you some salt. Do what you're going to do with the popcorn. Enjoy, eat them all up. This is the film for y'all. Who knows? You might feel a little something. You might do a little something. Please wear protection, people. Just all I got to say. Please wear protection. Now you got your man Sadat X from Brand Nubian narrating the film. You guys have been doing work over the years. You had a track called Big Bills. Tell us about Sadat X and J Billion, how y'all came to be. How did this happen?
Social media. One of the nicest dudes that I can tell you about is Sadat X. He's a real good dude. Shout out to Sadat X. Shout out to True Wine Connoisseurs, which is a wine that him and his man Will Teller put together. Shout out to the music he's putting out. This is a dude that's a vet. He's a legend, you know what I'm saying? And it's one thing to work with a legend, you know what I'm saying, because it's like an honor just to be in the presence of people that you respected their music and played it throughout your life. It's another thing when they respect what you do. And Sadat has been, like, real good. He shout me out anytime I do a project. When you saw the movie, you were like, yo, that movie was dope. I love how it came together. You know, he's just very supportive dude. And, like, he's getting ready. He's going to be on 40 Stories, album dropping in next month. I'm just over here doing the touch-ups on that, but he's got a track coming out with me on 40 Stories. We got some stuff that we're going to put together. And, like I said, he's a dude who I like doing business with because he's about the art. You know what I mean? He's like I said, he's from that mind or that train of thinking that says, look, we come in this thing to put art together. We don't come into it just to put a song together for the radio, or we don't come together just to try to jump on a mixtape. We coming together because we painting pictures with the music, you know what I mean? And so I got this joint I'm getting ready to do with him that, man, like I said, it's ridiculous. When you get to hear 40 Stories, you understand what I mean, man. We got some really good tracks coming on 40 Stories. That album's gonna be sick. It's going to be iTunes, Spotify, whatever you're looking for. It's going to be out there for you to check out in the very near future.
All right, cool. Now, before we get to the 40 Stories, there is a lady that you guys are going to hear throughout the film. Pretty much a driving force in the movie. This woman's name is Esnabi, I believe. Esnabi?
Oh, Esnabi, yes. Esnabi is man, listen, she's another person who I don't even know. We met years ago when I used to do this thing. I had a site called Hotter Than Most, which you probably remember. And Hotter Than Most was like an online magazine. And I came across her through somebody else. And as soon as I heard about her, I listened to her music, and I was like, nah, I got to interview this girl immediately. She came to D.C. We did a great interview. What a sweetheart, person. She's making big moves right now. She's got Revolt TV. She just did something with them. She's been on BET. She's been on Centric. Look, you name it, she's anywhere every year doing it. And she straight up gave me the music to put into the movie. She's like, look, Jay, just throw the music in there. I ain't worried about nothing. I'm not worried about any compensation. That's what I'm saying. People was giving me the blood, sweat, and tears just because they believe in the dream. It humbles me that when you get artists like her, she's ridiculous as an artist, man. So it's like, to get to work with her, beautiful thing. It's just, she's phenomenal.
She sounds phenomenal. We're going to play some of her music later on in the show.
Please do.
I'm gonna see if I can't download some of these tracks. I should have did this as soon as I touched down.
The album was really, you know what I mean? So this is 6 years later, and this is really, I'm not going to lie to you, this is probably the most prolific you'll ever hear me. The reason why I call 40 stories is a multitude of reasons. Right at the top, I turned 40 in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it was about the stories of a 40-year-old, not hip-hop at 20, not hip-hop at 15. It's about a guy who's going through the middle age of life. And so the songs kind of represent that. It's a lot of different music that's really coming from a whole other perspective. I'm actually going to shoot a couple of short films out of the music videos. So it's going to be fun, man. We're going to have some fun with this. And the reason why I don't have a track sheet tonight is because I'm still changing stuff. I'm to the last minute on it. I really wanted to create a masterpiece in my own eyes so I could really enjoy my work. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm loving this album right now.
I hope the rest of them love it.
Yeah, I'm loving it, brother. Like I say, there's a track I'm doing. It's called Bertha Cool. And if you understand where this song is coming from, it's from the Miles Davis title. But the album is really going to be, like I said, it's going to take it in such a place where, I even give you a little bit of this on this, kind of like left-handed mind that gets awkward defines is 40 years reminded, but the flow was still timeless. The grown man refined to sip off the fine wine. Let's go check on spineless. Most niggas is mindless. Scarface mimicking, Godfather images. We come from kings and queens. Why y'all so limited? Made in God's image, but wait, let me finish this. Can't understand the writing on the wall is bad penmanship. They rewriting the history back to ad-living, back to changing the rules, back to the addendums. I'm back at swimming pool, backstroke with bad women. I'm back winning, rewind time back to the beginning. Back to royalty, reverse the bad endings. We the birth, the cool, the miles, Hope Davis on spinning. Like the autumn leaves, they rain, they fall diminish until we return home. The Game of Thrones ain't finished yet. And the whole song is about, listen, if you look at hip-hop, everybody's mimicking these gangsters. Everybody's mimicking Al Capone and the Godfather and Scarface and all that stuff. But we as a culture, we come from kings and queens. Why y'all living in yourself to this nonsense when we the ones that built the game, and you taking out the game from somebody who mimicked your work and turned it into something else, and you like a copy of a copy. That's the way these artists are these days. There's no originality. So I'm like, we're gonna take it back to the beginning and build from there. We're gonna build the alternate timeline, build that new universe where people can see us for who we are. You know what I mean? So that's just indicative of the album.
All right, then. That does deserve a little bit of boom. Watch this.
Man, look, we gotta do something different, man. That's all. Just something, you gotta entertain the people.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Oh my God, that I'm just saying them. I was kind of thrown by them lyrics though. But these people need to understand that. That's what I'm saying. These people. All right,
Uh-huh.
all right. What we gonna do is we gonna take a little bit of a music break. I'm gonna see
Okay.
if I can't download a couple of these songs. I'm gonna put them on the show. There's a
Okay.
track called "Garnish My Wages" here by
Yeah.
one Mr. J. Billion. Tell us about "Garnish My Wages."
Garnish my wages. Oh man, you know what? I kept hearing stories of people I knew that had girls who was getting pregnant and it wasn't their kids.
Oh
But
no!
people was finding out these stories way after the fact, and the song came together based on that. It talks from two different verses to two different people. The first verse is talking to the mother of the child, and the second verse is talking to the actual child herself. Because here's a guy in a dilemma where he's raised his kid that's not his. He finds out it's not his, so he's pissed at the mother, but he still loves that child as if it was his own. So if he can't just walk away from the situation, but this chick she knows what she's doing. She got him in court. She's garnishing his wages, knowing that's not his kid because his name's on the birth certificate. The judge makes him pay. So it's a deep record.
Quick question. I'm gonna follow up on that. Do you believe that the you know the fathers the father's role has been diminished by what you were talking about as far as birth, child support? Do you believe the father's role has been diminished as far as what the mother thinks it is, what the child is lacking? Why do you think daddy has been gone from the household in this 72% world we living in?
Go to the root. The root is who you pick. You got to pick who you mate with. You can't just mate with anybody and think they're going to be good. You got to find somebody who's actually good enough to make a baby with before you make a baby. So if you're creating babies with the chick from the club, you're going to get the baby from the chick from the club. And you know how that goes. I mean, these stories that I like, meaning that when you meet somebody, you either choose to build with that person or not. And if you build something with a family with somebody who has no foundation, then you got to assume that it's going to be unstable. And so you got to take it back to the beginning and say, men, if you're going to find a woman, try to find a woman beyond the generic stuff. Stop looking at, oh, she dressed a certain way or she the hot chick at the club, and start looking and saying, is she the kind of material that I need to be building with? And if she's not the one that you need to be building with, you need to back up away from her. If you do build with a chick and things do happen and people do get together and mistakes occur, then you gotta then say, okay, as a man, I gotta make sure that I ensure my rights. I gotta make sure that everything is covered. I gotta make sure that, hey, I can afford this baby, and if I can't, I better make arrangements so I can, so she doesn't have that power over you to have you arrested because you're not paying your bills or keep your kid away from you because you're not in court handling your business. Nothing is easy. I mean, I've been a father for the last 17 years, you know what I mean? I was a father at 22 years old, and it's not extremely young, but it's young enough that, look, I didn't know what I was doing either, but the woman I met and married, and I married before I had a baby, okay, then it's a lot easier to be in your kid's life when you and the mother start off the right way. Even if we broke up, I would have already had roots into my child because we were together, and that it's a little easier to kind of be a father and navigate your kid's life when you're home with them. If you're not home with them and you're a weekend dad, put in the work like a weekend dad's supposed to. You make sure that you're there every weekend or however much as you can be so that you don't, your kid doesn't lose touch with your rules and your guidelines. As a man, you got to be able to at least lead your family, and if you can't, then you get what you pay for.
Absolutely, and then the crazy thing is, there's a flip side to that coin, and that's what. And I think you might have spoken about it. Do you think females are just choosing to have children by guys that aren't there where they need to be, or is it because they decide to have children? Where do you? I mean, it just seems as if, and I could be wrong here, that nobody, the value of life